Do you remember when buying a game meant that you actually owned it? Not licensed it, not borrowed it, not paid $70 for the privilege of accessing it until the server goes down. I mean actually owned it. Because as modern games start to become more digital, that is beginning to change at a rapid rate. In today's era, we are spending more money than ever before on video games that can be altered, delisted, shut down, or taken away after we buy them. Because it's starting to look like that the scariest thing modern gaming has stole from us might not be complete games, it might be ownership itself. When people talk about what's wrong with modern gaming, they usually point to the obvious stuff first. These are going to be your microtransactions, your battle passes, your broken launches, your bugs, your glitches. This is the always online DRM, the live service slop, the AI bullshit, your hackers, your broken lobbies, and it's even the skill-based matchmaking, but I think all of those problems are symptoms of something much bigger, because the real shift in modern gaming isn't just that games got greedier, it's that we quietly stopped owning the things that we pay for. We used to buy video games as products. Now we buy them as permissions. We buy them as licenses, as temporary access to a service that somebody else still controls after the sale. And once you kind of notice that, you can kind of put on your tinfoil hat and you start seeing it everywhere. So today, I'm gonna break this into 3 separate parts. First, why modern games no longer feel like property. Second, why the industry moved into this direction in the first place. And third, and finally, why this change matters way more than just physical versus digital copies of games. Back in the day, there used to be a very simple relationship between you and a video game. It was a simple transaction. You paid the money, you got the game. That was the deal. Maybe it was a cartridge or a disc, or maybe it came in a box with a manual you'd never really read, and you just fucking throw it away or in the back seat on the way home. But once you had it, you had it. It was yours, point blank period. Replay it 10 years later, you can lend it to a friend, you could keep it on the shelf and come back to it whenever you wanted. You could wipe your ass with it for all the gaming companies cared, because you owned it. That's what ownership looks like. But modern gaming has slowly replaced that with something much more fragile. Now, you're often not buying the game itself, you're buying access to it. And this can look like many different things. This is what access looks like. Access looks like it being through an account, access through a launcher, access through a storefront, access through a server, access through a license agreement you never actually read. And that changes so many things that you don't even realize while you're playing the fucking game. Because once the game stops being a product and starts being a permission, the company still controls it after the sale. They can do whatever they want to it virtually. They can delist it, they can alter it, they can remove features, they can shut the servers down completely, they can require online verification, they can tie it to an ecosystem you don't even control. They can just kick you off of it if they so well please. And you haven't even noticed that this has just become the new status quo. It's the norm now. Some video games needed internet connection just to even boot up. Some physical games barely function without massive downloads. Some games launch one way and are patched into something completely different a year later. Some are sold to you at full price and still feel temporary or unfinished. And that right there is the part that should scare people the most, because if a company still controls whether the game works, how the game works, or how your long-term gaming experience exists after you've already paid for it, then you didn't really buy the fucking game, you bought the permission to play it. And permissions can always be revoked. And at the end of all of this, that is what my true thesis is here. And that is, modern gaming didn't just make games digital, it changed the relationship between the player and the purchase. We no longer buy ownership, we buy access controlled by somebody else. Now, to be fair, I don't think that this change happened because gaming publishers all woke up at once and decided they were going to become Bond villains. There are real, legit reasons that gaming moved forward in this direction. Digital distribution is ultimately convenient. Cloud saves are ultimately convenient. Patches can save broken games. Subscriptions lower the upfront cost for players, and online infrastructure makes cross-play, live updates, and multiplayer support possible in ways older models could never even dream of. And honestly, for a while, digital gaming felt like a miracle. There was no disc swapping, there was no scratch copies, entire libraries on one console. There was midnight launches from your couch that you could have access to instead of camping outside of a GameStop. I remember when PlayStation Plus sales came out, that was a huge deal. You could download games for free or at a massively discounted price. And that convenience is legit, it's real, and I don't want to pretend that it isn't, and I don't want to discredit that. But the more things get convenient is the more that traps can be laid on top of that convenience. Because convenience made most players comfortable giving up control. The moment gaming shifted from I own this object to my account has access to this software, companies realized that they could keep their hands on the product indefinitely. And from a business perspective, that is genius, albeit incredibly unethical. If players don't truly own video games, then publishers can lock players into ecosystems. They can remove the resale market. They can push subscriptions over purchases, control preservation, control modding, control access. They can control whether you even have the right to turn on the game or not. And they ultimately can keep monetizing the relationship long after the initial sale is over. So yes, the industry moved this way because digital infrastructure made things significantly easier, there's no doubt about it. But it also moved this way because it gave companies more power, and that's the antithesis of the old model. The old model transferred power to the player after the purchase. This new model keeps the power in the publisher's hand. That's the trade we made. We got convenience, they kept control. So the real issue here isn't that digital games exist, it's that ownership has been replaced by dependency. And I think that's the part that the conversation can drift to, and that's where most people miss out on it. This was never really about disc versus downloads or digital versus physical. It's about power, it's about performance, it's about permanence. And it's about what happens when an entire medium stops belonging to the people who paid for it, because ownership matters for more than nostalgia purposes. It matters for preservation, it matters for history, it matters because games are not just products, they're cultural artifacts themselves. When you don't own a video game, you don't control whether that video game lives or dies or survives in the future. You don't control whether the version you love still exists in 10 years. You don't control whether servers stay up, whether content gets removed, whether a storefront delisted, or whether an account issue locks you out of something you already paid for. That means that the business model can literally erase the art. And once that happens, gaming stops feeling like a library and starts feeling like a rental store that can burn down overnight, never to be seen again. Because that is why this matters so much. Video games, I have preached this from the mountaintops, are not just purchases, they are not just products, they are memories for the player. Halo 3 isn't just a shooter, it's a 2007 Xbox Live miracle. Black Ops 2 isn't just multiplayer, it's old lobbies, it's dumb clan tags, it's hearing someone's mic explode in the pre-game chat calling you a slur. Which isn't great, but that existed at the time, that we cannot deny that. Minecraft isn't just blocks, it's years of servers, friendships, and nights that lasted way longer than they ever should have over a game about blocks. And the future of gaming is a world where every purchase is conditional, every library is temporary, every game only exists for as long as the corporation allows it or sees fit. Then we're not just losing ownership, we're losing permanence, we're losing memories. We're losing the idea that games can belong to the people who love them. The death of ownership isn't just a side effect of digital gaming, it's a natural result of an industry that realized that access is more profitable than possession. And once you kind of step back and you understand that, a lot of modern gaming starts making way more sense. There's always gonna be online DRM. There will always be subscription pushes. There will always be launcher dependency and server-based progression. They all point toward the same future. And that is a future where you do not buy games, you rent access to them. So no, I don't feel like I'm just becoming the old boomer and yelling at cloud shit. And I don't think that this is just for nostalgia for disc or plastic cases. I think it's something much simpler than that. When you buy a video game, it should be for years. It should be yours. It shouldn't be a temporary permission slip. It shouldn't be reversible in any way, not access that disappears the second a company changes strategy. Because right now we're paying more money than ever for video games that feel less permanent than the ones that we bought 25 fucking years ago. And if that becomes normal, if we all get comfortable with not owning our video games, then maybe the scariest thing modern gaming has taken away from us isn't mystery or complete launches or even good multiplayer. Maybe the simple idea that when you buy something, it actually belongs to you. That is what we are losing. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hoping you're enjoying these gaming industry critiques. Let me know in the comments below if you kind of want me to incorporate more of the movie or TV stuff back into the channel. It seems like we were kind of hitting a pretty good stride with the industry stuff. If you do really enjoy, please leave a like, leave a comment. It would mean a lot. And subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss a video. But besides that, that is all I have. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, love, adios, and goodbye.